Thanks for hanging with the Mechanic Ninja today. Today I'm going to talk to you about the best way to store your snowblower. We're coming to the end of the season here where I live, and a lot of people are going to be putting their snowblowers away. I'm going to teach you how to do it the correct way. So, a couple things you can do. I'm going to start with the best and go to the worst. The best thing you can do is to run ethanol-free gas through your machine. When it comes to the end of the season, put some fuel additive in it. I really like what's called seafoam. You can get that at your local auto stores. Read the ratios and put the proper amount into your machine. Once you put the seafoam in there, let it run for a couple minutes, then turn it off. All of you guys should have a shut-off valve underneath your gas tank. If you don't, I would highly recommend putting one in there. I'm just going to flip this over and show you. Shut-off valve right there. And so once you run it for a couple minutes, then go ahead and turn your machine off and then turn that valve to off as well. Best way to store your machine is in a nice shed or some kind of closed building, garage, whatever it may be. The best way to store your machine basically is to make sure you are starting it at least once a month. Even though you're not using it in the summer and springtime, make sure you are starting your machine at least once a month and letting it run about 5 to 10 minutes. When you talk about storing a machine, a lot of people just like to put them away and not touch them till the next winter. That is probably the worst way to store your machine because these machines were made to run. It's an engine. It needs to heat up. It keeps the seals good on it. It keeps your engine good as you run it and have that gasoline cycling through your carburetor. So the best way to store your machine, again, is in a shed. Put ethanol-free gas in it. Always run ethanol-free. And then put seafoam in there at the very end of the season. And then go out and start it and let it run 5 to 10 minutes once a month. That's the best way. And always make sure you have that gas valve off when you are not running the machine. It takes 2 seconds to turn it to off. That's just the best way to store your machine. A lot of people like to take the bowls off of their carburetor and drain the carburetor. That is a good method. It works for some people. Essentially, all you do is come underneath your machine. Let me show you right underneath here. There's a bolt right there in the bottom of the carburetor. You would just unscrew that. Make sure you have a catch pan underneath your carburetor. Make sure your gas valve is turned to off. Make sure you're wearing proper protective gear and that you're in a well-ventilated area. Essentially, you take that bolt out, drain that bowl of gas, and then put it back on. And then since you have the gas valve off, there's going to be no gas go back into your carburetor. The thought behind this is if you keep your carburetor with no gas in it, it has no way of getting gummed up. They say it has no way of getting gummed up if there's no gas in the carburetor. This is a great way. It does work for a lot of people. It's not my favorite way, and I'll tell you why. I've seen sometimes where you take all the gas out of a carburetor and that float that's inside your carburetor, gas in the carburetor pushes your float up, and so when you take the gas out, it lets your float all the way down. Sometimes that float can get hung up on things in the carburetor, and then when you go to put gasoline back in it in the the winter, that float gets caught, and so that gas comes in, and then the float is stuck and does not go back up and it doesn't go up and close the needle in seat, and your carburetor starts overflowing with gas. So I know a lot of people do that where they like to empty the carburetor. It works great, probably 9 times out of 10, but that small chance that your float gets stuck, that's just a risk that you take. If your float does end up getting stuck open, all you got to do is take that bowl off again and then just kind of push up on your float, make sure that it gets unstuck, and then go ahead and proceed. Hopefully that helps and fixes it. The third way to store your snowblower is the worst way. This is what most people do, so this is what you should not do. They quit using it in the wintertime, they go put it in their shed, and they forget about it till next winter, till the next snowstorm. 9 or 10 months away. And then they go out there and try to start their snowblower. And it probably starts for the first couple seasons, and then after a little while, then it will not start again. Why? Because they have old, bad gas sitting in there that has not been treated. It gums up their carburetor, and now their machine does not start because of their gummed up carburetor. That is not the way that you want to store your machine. If you want it to start every winter, the best chances you have of doing that is storing it the first way that I talked about. Don't just put it out there and forget about it. You want to keep up your maintenance, and the maintenance of a snowblower in the off season is starting your machine. Make sure you keep starting that machine all year long. All right, I hope these tips help you guys. I've been doing small engines for quite a while now, and those are the best ways that I've seen from best to worst that I just listed. Definitely, this will help your machine out, in my opinion. Hope it helps you guys out. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe button. It really helps me out. Thanks. Have a great day.